Hello and welcome back to Assassin's Creed 3. This is pointing, actually. It's a little bit different to the usual pointing things. The usual Assassin's Creed videos. Yes, we've done a few of them now, so you should know what pointing is. But if you haven't watched them from now, I'll quickly go through what they are. It's basically when I go around the game collecting all the pointless things. For example, feathers, although I don't think I'm getting any in this one. Basically, it's where I do pointless things. Collectibles, viewpoints, hence the name pointing. It's pointless stuff. Pointing. In this particular one, I'm going to be going around collecting some different bits and bobs called the Fog of War on the map, the Fog of War stuff, because I really dislike the Fog of War, and I just want to go around uncovering every little piece of the map, because that's just how I roll. But we're doing that. What else is going to be happening, though? As an incentive for those people that like watching that stuff, I'm going to be reading off the database entries in the database folder. So obviously I'll be doing that in an audiobook format. And after I've done all those, because we won't have much to do today, but once I've done all those, I will just talk about random pointless things that aren't related to the game at all, maybe a little bit of a sneak peek about what's to come in the game, but I will be talking about Halloween costume, which is obviously a few weeks ago, but still, and I'll be talking about the new Dan Brown film adaptation of Inferno. I say Dan Brown, it's his book. It was Dan Howard? Tom Howard? Dan Howard? Dan Howell? that's someone else. The film called Inferno, because I've seen that. But yeah. So then, if you don't like listening to all this sort of stuff and don't like pointless stuff, I'll see you in the next adventure. We'll continue on with that sooner or later. But for now, let's go back into pointing. More specifically, Johnstown pointing. Okay, so let's start off with the frontier. We ain't got many today, like I said. We caught up last week, but let's go. Actually, it was Monday we caught up. Right, but let's get on to the first one, which we're going to do, which is a location in the frontier. It's called Boston Light. This was the first lighthouse in North America, built to help guide ships into Boston Harbor at night. Of course, this made a prime target for the revolutionaries during the siege of Boston. They attacked and burned the building. When the British began to repair it, they returned and burnt it again. Of course, the British did them one better. When they left Boston Harbor in 1776, they blew up the entire lighthouse behind them. It was a very confusing time to be a lighthouse fan. Do I like them? Don't I like them? I feel the same way about light jazz. A new lighthouse was built in 1783, so it persists and survives despite all efforts to destroy it, much like light jazz. This is where you do your jazz hands. I think that's it for locations in there. We can go on to naval locations. And we can go on to one specific one, which we have, Dead Chest Island. Not exactly a first-date venue, this. Dead Chest Island is part of the British Virgin Islands. Though it's an island of the same way that Pluto is a planet, it's really more of a big rock. However, I won't deny the place that has an interesting name and an interesting history. According to legend, Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, visited the island and left 15 of his crewmen here as a punishment. Each crewman had a bottle of rum and a cutlass, and when Blackbeard returned, most of the men were dead. Maybe the rum was bad. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote a song about this story. You may have heard it. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, 50 men on a dead man's chest. Of course, Stevenson wrote Dead Man's Chest, and the island's name is Dead Chest. But that's the rhythm of poetry for you. And I think the link is fairly clear. Oh my god. I just want to point this out there. I've actually read The Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. So it's interesting to see he actually wrote that song. Yo ho, all together. Hoist the colours high. It's a different song, totally. 50 men on a dead man's chest. Oh, that's crazy. I think that's crazy, that is. History. I do enjoy a little bit of it. Right then, so that's it for that stuff. Let's go now down to people. We have group and assassin recruits. So let's talk about the groups. We're going to go down to one specific one called Frontiersman. Daniel Boone was an excellent explorer and hunter with a knack for talking himself out of trouble. I imagine he and his friends will have some fascinating stories to tell. I wouldn't mind hearing them from the primary source myself. Later authors were known for adding ridiculous embellishments, like the one about Boone killing a bear with his bare hands, or swinging through the forest on vines, or the one where he modified a silver sport car to travel back in time and end up kissing his mum. Thought that might have been something else. Though that might have been something else, it was. Back to the Future. Boone and his friends travel all over the frontier, so they'll be able to tell you if there's any news you should know about. That was more about Boone than the frontiersman, wasn't it? Right, let's go down to assassin recruits. We've got one. We've got Clipper Wilkinson. They call him Clipper. Clipper the dog. Born 1756, Clipper Wilkinson is a hunter and surveyor from Virginia boys. Actually, surveying and hunting are the family business. His father and brothers are surveyors and crack shots as well, making the musket his small home as well, making the market, in his small hometown somewhat oversaturated. Hell, making the market in his house somewhat oversaturated. Wilkinson moved to New York looking for work. Unfortunately, arriving just in time for the opening events of the Revolution, he remained neutral for his first part of the war. But after seeing the cruelty of the Redcoats' actions in Boston, he started leaning toward the rebel side, putting himself at odds with the rest of his family, who are loyalists. It seems Connor has a talent for attracting friends and family troubles. Friends with family troubles. Cool, that's all of the Assassin's Creed. That's all the people. Now going down to animals. Oh no, I think we've got an almanac page. Maybe even two. Oh no. Alright then, let's go on to predators. Let's go on to bobcat. Behaviour. Bobcats can be dangerous, but they will flee from a tough fight. Keen senses are keen. Keen senses are keen. Their senses are keen. They will usually stalk their prey until they're close enough to pounce. Weaknesses. Bait. Poison darts. Hunting tips. Place bait and hide, and perform an assassination when the bobcat is close enough. You can also approach the bobcat through the trees and shoot it with your bow. Alternatively, you can use poison darts to slow the bobcat and kill it. Parts used, pelts and claws. Let's go on to prey now then. What have we got down in prey? We've got one. We've got good old sly raccoon. Behaviour. Skittish animals that are not very good at detecting a threat. Weaknesses. Bait, snares, poison darts. Hunting tips. Use a snare near a clue left by a raccoon to trap it. Or place bait, then hide and assassinate the raccoon when it approaches. Alternatively, remain undetected by hiding in the trees and use your bow. You can also use poison darts to slow the raccoon and kill it. Parts used, pelts only. That's all of that. Now we're getting on to the almanac pages, I think. Documents. Explorer's Tales and Almanacs. We've got two almanacs. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Paul Richards' Almanac, 1736, Volume 1. Loving readers, your kind acceptance of the former labours have encouraged me to continue writing. Thou the general appropriation you may have been good as to favour me with, has excited the envy of some, and drawn upon the malice of others. These ill-wilders of mine, despite of the great reputation I'd gained by exactly participating in another man's death, have endeavoured to deprive me of all at once in the most effectual manner. By reporting that I myself am near alive, they say in short that there is no such a man as I am, and I have spread this notion so thoroughly in the country that I have been frequently told it to my face by those that don't know me, that it is not civil treatment to endeavour to deprive me of my very being and reduce me to the non-entity and the option of the public. But so long as I know myself to walk about, eat, drink, and sleep, I am satisfied that there is really such a man as I am. Whether they may say to the contrary, and to the world may be satisfied likewise. For I am there is no such man as I am. How it is possible I should appear publicly to hundreds of people, as I have done for several years past in print, I need not, indeed, have taken any notice of that idle a report. If I had been, for the sake of my printer, to whom my enemies are pleased to ascribe my productions, who would it seem as it unwilling for my father to my father for offspring, as I am to lose the credit of it? Therefore, to clear him entirely, as well as to vindicate my own honour, I make this public and serious declaration, which I desire may be believed, to wit, that what I have written henceforth, and do now write, neither was, nor is written by any other man or men, person or persons whatsoever. Those who are not satisfied with this must needs be very unreasonable. My performance for this year follows. It submits itself, near kind reader, to the censor, but hopes for thy candour to forgive its faults, for it devotes itself entirely to thy service, and will serve thee faithfully. And if it has a good fortune to please its master, 'tis gratification enough for the labour of poor R. Sanders. Oof. These things are just massive. Sorry, it's my can, that is. It is Tropical Crush. 0 sugar. Oh, it's 0 Tropical Crush. I can't work it out. Yeah, I've got tea as well. Just I had to finish this off, so. Right. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to... Oh, look, I'm running with bears! And I kill them over because, you know, that's how I roll. Right, so what I am going to do though is I'm going to stop this recording and then go back into it, so then I can go beep, 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 because every time I've come back to edit a pointing episode, it is always corrupted, and it's always like it's a 20-minute video, so it shouldn't corrupt, but it always does. It's always the first pointing database one, and I have no idea why. So that's why I've done it this week. I've done it in 2 10-minutes, just to make sense. So yeah. Shouldn't really make a difference to you though, because if not, I'll just export it to MP4 instead of MPEG, wherever it is. Alright, let's carry on then. So then, presumptuous man, the reason wouldn't be thou find. Why focus so weak, so little and so blind? First, if thou cast the harder reason guess, why formed thou no weaker, blinder, and no less? Ask of thy mother earth, why oaks are made taller or stronger than the weeds they shade? Or ask of yonder agent, fields above, why love's sentiments are less than love? Less than Jove, huh? No idea. Okay, so 11th of Monday, January hath 31 days. Some have learnt many tricks of sly evasion. Instead of truth, they use equivocation, and exit out with mental reservation, which is good to men is an abomination. R. Smith of late most wonderful saw, that whilst he breathed he would drink no more. But since I know his meaning, for I think he meant he would not breathe whilst he did drink. He is no clown that drives the plough, but he is that doth clownish things. If you know how to spend less than you get, you have the philosopher's stone. The good paymaster is lord of another man's purse. Fish and visitors smell in 3 days. 11th of Monday. Is that 11th or was that 12? That's 12. 12 Monday, February hath... How many days is that? No, 29 days. Sam's wife poketh him once, he broketh his crown. The surgeon's bill amounted to £5. This blow, she brags, has cost my husband dear. He'll never striketh more, Sam chanced to overhear. Therefore, before his wife the bill he pays, and to the surgeon he has hearing says, Doctor, you charge £5 here 10. My wife may chance to want your help again. He that has neither fools nor beggars amongst his kindred is the son of Thundergust. Oligence is the mother of good luck. Do not do that which you would not have done. The 1st of Monday, March hath 31 days. Wherever desired knowledge, fame, or pith, and one may change his neighbour with himself, the learned are happy in nature to explore. The fool is happy that he knows no more. The rich are happy to be plenty again given. The poor content him with the care of heaven. Thus does some comfort ever strike the tend, and pride bestoweth on all a common friend. Never praise your cider, or horse, or bedfellow, where their wealth is not his that hath it, but his that enjoys it. 'Tis easy to see, hard to foresee. In a discreet man's mouth a public thing is private. 2nd of Monday, April have 4 days. Benout is mad. Benow is mad, beast distinguished no more than by knowledge in his learned head. The youth improve thy time, but cautious see, that what thou learnest somehow useful be. Each day improving, so lone waxed old, for time he knew was better for far than gold. Fortune might give him gold which would decay, but fortune cannot give him yesterday. Let thy maid servant be faithful, strong, and homely. Keep flax from fire, youth from game. Youth from gaming. Lol. 1763. We predict the future as games. Bargaining is neither friends nor relations. Admiration is the daughter of ignorance. There's more old drunkards than old doctors. The 3rd of Monday may have 41 days. Or it may have. We don't know. Lalus, who loves to hear himself discourse, keeps talking still as if he frantic were. And thou himself might know where he'll worse. Yet he no other than himself will hear. Stop not his mouth, he will be a troublesome. But stop his ears, and then the man is dumb. Here comes Congrel, that sees the lion absent, and run away from the present mouse. He that takes a wife takes care, nor eye is a letter, and hand in purse, nor ear in the secret of another. He that buys by the penny maintains not only himself, but other people. 4th of Monday, June hath 30 days. Things that are bitter, bitter than gale. Physicians say, always physical. Now women's tongues, if into powders beaten, may be in a potion of a pail are eaten. And as there's naught much bitter, I do muse, the women's tongues in physical they never use. Myself and others who lend restless lives would spare the bitter member of our wives. He that can have patience can have what he will. Now I have a sheep and a cow, everybody bids me good morrow. Good God helps them that help themselves. Why does the blind man's wife paint herself? Oh. And that's one of the almanacs. I can actually answer a few of these. Blind man's wife paints herself is because obviously it's for confidence of self. We've seen this thing before. And then God helps those who hurt themselves. Not actually a quote from the Bible. It's one of Aesop's fables. Thanks, Assassin's Creed, for telling me that back in the past. Right, anyway, let's go on to the next one, which is Poor Richard's Almanac, 1733, Volume 2. 5th of Monday, July hath 31 days. Who can change embryo with a thirst of wealth? See, he consumes his money, time, and health, in drunken frolics which he will all confined, and he decks his farm, forgets to tell his ground. His stock grows, less might be kept with ease, it naught but guts and depths he finds increase. In town's reels, as he is shoved down each wall, yet walls must stand, poor soul, or he must fall. None preaches better than the ant, and she says nothing. The absent are never without fault, nor the present without excuse. Gift Burke's rocks. In wind blows on you, throw a hole. Make your will and take care of your soul. Yum. The rotten apple spoils his companion. 6th of Monday, August hath 31 days. These are actually going in order, so maybe it's like 6th month. Which is not, but I know what I mean. 6th month in the list, I guess. The tongue was once a servant of the heart, and what it gave she freely did impart. But now hypocrisy is grown so strong, the heart's become a servant of the tongue. Virtue will praise, but practise not her good. Aetherian-like will act not what we know, as many men do talk of Robin Hood, who never did shoot arrow in his bow. Don't throw stones at your neighbours if your own widows are glass. The excellency of hogs is faultless, and men virtue. Good wives are good plantations, and made be good husbands. He that sells upon trust loses many friends, and always wants money. Pox take you is no curse to some people. 7th of the Monday, September hath 30 days. Bristcap thou'st little judge in thy head, more than to dress thee, drink, and go to bed. Yet thou shalt have the wall of the way lead, since logic wills that simple things proceed. Walking and meeting one not long ago, I asked who 'twas, he said he did not know. I said I know thee, so she said he I you, but he that knows himself I never knew. Lovers, travellers, and poets will give money to be heard. Is that speaks much is much mistaken. Creditors have better memories than debtors. Forewarned, forearmed, unless in the case of cockroads, who are often forearmed before warned. 8th of Monday, October hath 31 days. Whimsical Will once fancied he was ill. The doctor called, who those examined Will. How is your appetite? Oh, as to that, I eat right heartily, and you'll see I'm fat. How is your sheep anklets? How is your sleeper nights? This is sound and good. I eat, drink, sleep, and well as I ever could. Well, said the doctor, clapping on his hat, I'll give you something shall remove all that. 3 things are men most likely to be cheated in: a horse, a wig, and a wife. He that lives well is learned enough. Poverty, poetry, and new titles of honour will make men ridiculous. He that scatters thorns, let him go barefoot. There none deceived, but he hath that trust. So 11, Monday, November hath 30 days. When you are sick, what you like best is to be chosen for a medicine in the first place. What experiences tells you is best to be chosen in the second place. What reason, i.e. theory, says it best. It is to be chosen in the last place, but if you cannot get Dr. Inclination, or experience, or Dr. Reason to hold a consultation together, they will give you the best advice that can be given. God heals and the doctor takes the fees. If you desire many things will seem but a few. Mary's mouth costs her nothing, for she never opens it, but at over expense. Receive before you write, but write before you pay. I saw fee die of hunger, of eating 1,000. 10, Monday, December hath 31 days. Sol nearer the earth in winter than in summer. 15,046 miles. This his loans and short appearance make him winter cold. Luna nearer in her perigon than a perigon. 69,512. Saturn nearer. 49,868 miles. Juniper. Why am I saying juniper? Juniper berries. Jupiter nearer 38,613 miles. Mars nearer 80,000 miles. Venus nearer 6,000 miles. Mercury nearer 181,000 miles. And yet Mercury is never distant from the Sol. A whole sign, nor Venus, above 2 you'll never find. A sextile Sol Mercury, nor a quartile Sol Venus. Maids of America who give you bad teeth, answer, has souplings from frozen apples. Marry your daughter and eat fresh fish, meals. Bethelms. If God blesses a man, his female dog brings forth pigs. Yet he that would live in peace and at ease must not speak all he knows, nor judge all he sees. Adieu. I think there's going to be a lot here. In fact, are we going to get this done before I finish? I'm not sure. In my last year's almanac, I mentioned that the visible eclipse of this year's 1736 portended some great and some promising events relating to those northern colonies, of which I proposed this year to speak a large, but as those events are not to happen immediately this year, I choose rather upon second thought to defer further mention of them till the publication of an almanac for that year, in which way are to happen, however, that the reader may not be entirely disappointed. Here follows, for the present amusement, a few enigmatical prophecies, which they that do not understand cannot well explain. Number 1. Before the middle of this year, a wind at northeast will arise, during which the water of the sea and rivers will be set in such a manner raised. The great part of the towns of Boston, Newport, New York, Philadelphia, and the lowlands of Maryland and Virginia, and the town of Charleston in South Carolina will be under water. Happily, it will be for the sugar and salt standing in the cellars of those places, if there be tight roofs and ceilings overhead. Otherwise, without being a conjurer, a man may easily forfeit that such commodities will see damage. 2. About the middle of the year, great numbers of vessels fully laden will be taken out of the ports, are for sale by the power which we are not now at war, and whose forces shall not be described or seen, either coming or going, but in the end this may now be disadvantageous into those places. 3. However, not long after, a visible army of 20,000 musketeers will land, some in Virginia and Maryland, and some in the lower countries, on both sides of Delaware. who will never overrun the country and solely annoy the inhabitants, but the air in this climate will agree with them so ill towards winter, and that they will die in the beginning of the cold weather like rotten sheep, and by Christmas the inhabitants will get the better of them. Note, in my next almanac, those enigmatical philosophical prophecies will be examined. R.S. Oh my god, we've done. No, we're not. Explorer's Tales. Got some of those left to read. Alright, well, let's read some of those. We've got time? We've got 6 minutes. Might be time enough. Yeah, we'll have time enough. It's only short. Okay, then. So, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, Boone. A pair of our most ambitious adventurers set out a few weeks back and have yet to return. Find out what befell our friends. Connor. I happened across an encampment belonging to the two adventurers. The scene was grisly. My thoughts were of highwaymen or war parties, but as I searched the area, the truth of their fates come clearer. A fight broke out between them, vicious, one of the men drawing a blade and stabbing the other. Then he set out for home, but he received injustice of a kind before long, as he was attacked and killed by a wolf. The Sasquatch. Sasquatchy. Boone. It stands upright as a man, but its whole body is covered in a thick pelt. Its gait is slow and lurching. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. It's clever, or it's at a distance, or it's something between us. Like it knows where I'm gonna be before I get there. Things go mission where it goes. That much is certain. All manner of trinket. Took a man's prize book antlers clean off the cabin wall. Takes kills out of traps too, wrenching them open with his big mitts. Somebody should find it and bring it back and head on the world to see. Connor. I found the beast Boone spoke of, covered in fur head to toe, whereas the tales of his wits and bent for theft are true, those of him being a monster are not. He is just a man who chooses to live in solitude. As for the missing property, I might suggest being more careful. Right, 2 more then. Got time indeed. The Haunted Lighthouse, Boone. I've been out in the pucker brush for 6 weeks. Game was scarce in the area, and my belly needed filling. So I broke for the coast and some crab or lobster from the tide pools. That's when I saw it. A lighthouse, said to have been abandoned years ago. But there it was, fires a burning. Then the sound happened, a moaning in the wind. My heart crept to the throat, so high I could taste it. Just then, a 10-point buck startled, and I took after it. Got the buck, but I never went back to that lighthouse. Spirits in there, I'll wager. I'd challenge any man to venture nearby. Connor, I went to the lighthouse and it was abandoned. Among the debris left by the previous occupants, I found nothing more than a scarecrow. There are no spirits up here. None that I must be feared at any rate. Let's go on now to the last one, which is the Headless Horseman. Boone. I've never seen him myself, but I've heard the stories from here to Kentucky. A German mercenary, Hessian, they call him, was fighting a battle where a cannonball took his head clean off. His whole battalion was roused and they lost the encounter. But the lad didn't die. He'd been wandering the bush on horseback around the battlefield ever since, searching for his head, chasing innocents when he sees them, taking their domes for his own. He wears a pumpkin for a head now, until he finds what he's looking for. Like I said, I haven't seen him, but I've seen the bodies he lying about, headless and grotesque. God rest their souls. I found the Headless Horseman. The stories of his taking human heads are no fables, but he was just a man. Oh, we've done it. We've done all of the database entries. Good. Hopefully we'll not have one of those almanacs for a while. Pain in the buttocks.
Yeah, man.
Cool then. So now we've just got to wait for this video to finish. So what I was going to talk about was Halloween costume. I'm actually going as Gandalf this year. I'm going to work as Gandalf. So I've got my beard, my wig, and I've got my hat, and I've got my grey cloak type thing, which is dressing gown. In fact, actually, how long have I got left? Not long at all. Yeah, so that's going to be quite interesting, especially to go at work and serve on a till while I'm dressed as Gandalf. That'd be quite funny. That'd be quite funny indeed. I've also seen Inferno. Never read the book yet. I've sort of wanted to see the film first. Oh my god, now I have. Oh my god, I might change this year's book to Inferno. Oh my god. Oh no, but it's Lost Symbol before it goes to Inferno. Oh, what do I do? Oh yeah. I actually really liked it. I didn't like the beginning because it was a bit convoluted and it was just like, ugh, what's going on? And basically it's because I think they did it as a design choice. Because at the start, it's no surprise, it's in the trailers. Robert Langdon suffering from amnesia, so he doesn't know what's going on. So I think they did that intentionally so that you feel a bit like, oh, what's going on? He doesn't know what's going on, so I shouldn't know what's going on. But that's a bit, in terms of film thing, it's a bit, it won't appeal to a massive audience. But the rest of the film is great. Well, I say great. It's good. Put it this way: if Tom Hanks wasn't in it, it wouldn't be good. But he sort of carries the film, which is it's good. He's a great actor. That's good. But yeah, after that, it's pretty decent, I suppose. Like I do enjoy the payoff at the end. Like when they were doing about the massive, kind of like climactic fight. It was like, oh, my hands were sort of like, oh dear, like on the edge of your seat sort of thing, like nails gripping into the seats. So yeah, it was quite a good film. I did enjoy it, so I recommend checking it out. Even if it's probably not going to be in cinemas for much longer, but it's a good thing to watch. But I'm probably a bit biased because I love the Dan Brown books. He's the reason I got into reading. But anyway, that is it for this pointing episode. Then next week we'll be doing some fun stuff. Obviously we'll have another pointing next week where we do probably, is it Scotch Plains? I forget what this bit's called. But anyway, we'll go down south. But yeah, that's it. So thank you very much. I'll see you next time.